There is one thing you must do in the IELTS speaking test, and it will improve your result dramatically. And it's probably not what you think. Hello, this is Keith from the Keith Speaking Academy, helping you speak English confidently in weeks and loving English for a lifetime. Well, I hope so. Listen, I guess you're here because you're preparing for the IELTS test, or maybe you've got the test coming in the near future, right? Maybe you're still not sure about your exam technique, or even maybe you're not sure about your English level, whether it's a band 6 or a band 7. Okay, well, I think I can help you today. I'm going to give you some general tips to help you, and then I'll tell you the one thing you must do. Must? Well, you don't have to, but I suggest you should do it, and it will really help improve your result dramatically. Finally, if you stay to the end, I'll give you some specific advice that can help you choose the right path for you to prepare for IELTS. If you stay to the end. If you don't stay to the end, that's fine. Just go and enjoy whatever you're going to do. Let's begin. Now, you probably already know a lot of things that you should do in IELTS speaking. For example, in part 1, you know you should talk about yourself, right? Make it personal. You should give short answers. 2 to 3 sentences is enough, really. In part 2, you probably know you should prepare well. That 1 minute to prepare, make the most of it. And I suggest you prepare your first sentence. So you start part 2, bang, with a confident bang. Also, remember to breathe, right? We don't want you collapsing on the floor. Remember to breathe in part 2. You probably know in part 3 you should develop your answers, right? And don't worry if the examiner interrupts you, cutting in. They often do that. That's normal. In fact, sometimes it's a good sign because they're pushing to find out if you're a higher level. So chill out about that. What you may not know is that you should spend most of your time preparing focused on improving your English level, improve your spoken English, and just after you've done that, focus on exam technique. I think, and I suggest to students, it's an 80-20 balance. 80% of your preparation time should be on improving your spoken English, building up the level, and just 20% on exam technique, okay? Now, that one thing you must do, I'm going to tell you in a moment because I'm a bit worried. I get quite a lot of emails from students telling me things that they have been told that they mustn't do, and it's nonsense. It's not correct. So I just want to clarify that for you right now, okay? Some people say, or students tell me, I mustn't make hand gestures when speaking. Nonsense. Of course you can make hand gestures. You know, if you speak with your hands, that's fine. I mean, don't distract the examiner, but just be you. Another one is, a teacher told me don't make eye contact with the examiner. Right, so you're going to speak looking at the floor, looking at the ceiling, looking out the window. No, nonsense. Seriously, just do what you normally do. Look at the examiner. You can look away, look back, think about something, look back. Some contact is really good. That's how we communicate. I mean, obviously, don't stare the examiner. Don't stare down the examiner or stare at the examiner. It'll make them feel uncomfortable. Again, just be you. Number 3, I've been told not to wear a tie. Listen, if you want to wear a tie, that's fine. I mean, wear a tie like this? Maybe not like this, although I know it's really fashionable. What? It's not fashionable? Oh, Never mind. Listen, if you want to wear a tie, that's fine. If you want to wear a shirt and jeans, it's fine. My advice is just go smart casual, right? Your dress code, what you wear, will not affect the examiner. Finally, dear Keith, a teacher told me not to use wanna, gonna, coulda in the exam. Nonsense, right? Of course, not only can you, you should. Wanna, gonna, coulda, that is contractions we use in natural spoken English. You must be using these contractions, right? Great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now that we've parked these myths and mistakes over here, out of the way, there are certainly things that you shouldn't do, right, in the exam. And the key one is don't memorize your answers. The examiners are trained, they'll spot it, and if you memorize your answers, it's game over. Really. The other one is don't rush. I think a lot of students get nervous and they speak quickly and they try to keep up with the examiner. It doesn't work. Take your time. The other one is don't use fancy, complicated vocabulary you don't understand and that your grandma wouldn't understand. Well, okay, maybe my grandmother wouldn't understand, right? Let's imagine for a moment that your grandmother understands English, speaks English, and you go to her one day and you say, Grandma, I've got a new job. And she says, great, tell me about your job. A typical IELTS question, right? Tell me about your job. And you say, Grandma, don't say grandma to the examiner, right? Just say, I've taken on the professional vocation of being a medical practitioner in the field of medicine. My grandma would be, speak English, speak plain English for goodness sake. I don't know about your grandma. The point is, that's not natural, right? You know, what would you say to your grandma? I've got a new job as a doctor. That's it. That's how you should be speaking. Great. Okay, let's get down to business. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What is the one thing you must do that will improve your score dramatically? It's this. Enjoy the test. What? Yeah, enjoy the test. The big problem most students have is they're anxious, they're nervous, they're not happy, and they're in the test, and it doesn't help their speaking. If you can change your mindset to enjoy the test, you'll flow and everything will flow much better. Most students forget about this because it's mindset. They're so busy learning vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, fluency, practicing, and exam technique, they forget the mindset. However, I'm sure you all know the great basketball players and the great football players, all the great sports people, they work on mindset. And all the best students work on mindset. And if you can spend, 5 minutes a day for the 5 days before the test, thinking about enjoying the test, it'll make the world of difference, right? You can even practice being excited about your study, being excited about learning new things, about all the great things that are going to happen to you after you pass the test, and take that excitement into the test with you. Okay, there is a very simple technique that I use, and I learned this years ago. It's called the anchor technique. The anchor technique is where you close your eyes, you think of something beautiful, happy, that makes you content. Maybe it's a day out with your family, maybe not. Maybe it's sitting on the beach with a pina colada, an orange juice. And when you've got that image, you let the feeling of happiness come in and you press your thumb like that. And that physical anchor, you hold it and then you anchor that feeling so that whenever in the future, for example, before the test or before a class, you just close your eyes or even keep your eyes open and press, and it releases that feeling again. The anchor opens the feeling. It's amazing, right? It's a very powerful technique. You can try it. But that one thing, if you can not only relax but enjoy the test, research shows us, right, that when you're the affective filter, Creation's affective filter, if you're relaxed, you're going to learn better, you're going to perform better. That's it. Great. Now, in addition, I want to give you some specific advice to help you choose the right path in your IELTS preparation, right? If you are an independent kind of person and very much an independent learner, then you can probably get by finding the resources you need on the internet. There is so much out there, you can probably find it and learn what you need to learn. Great. If you are relatively new to learning English or learning a second language, you may need more guidance and help in doing that. Be really careful of trying to find stuff on the internet. I see a lot of students trying to find materials and tips and advice on Facebook, Instagram. A lot of it is nonsense, and it's really a minefield, and it's a distraction for most students. Probably in that case, you probably would be better finding a teacher, right? Now that's not always that's not always easy. There are lots of platforms like italki, Cambly, some great teachers. You do need to find one who is relevant for you, who maybe matches your personality and matches your learning style. Otherwise, you could waste a lot of time. And I know they're not cheap, right? But that's one alternative. What you can also consider is taking an online course. Maybe you've never thought about taking an online course. And I'm not talking about my courses, right? Forget about me. Just generally speaking, online courses can be great to give you resources and guidance. Think about it. An online course lets you study anytime, right? You can study at your own pace, which is so important. You can go back and review things. You can even stop the teacher, bang, and review. You can't do that in a real live class, right? Imagine in your university, excuse me, can you just stop a minute? I'm just making my notes. No. Online courses, you can. You can also pick out what you want and what you don't need. You can cherry pick the things you need. You're kind of personalizing your learning. What's more, for language learning, learning online has huge advantages, right? You can focus on the things that you need. Ignore the rest. You get endless input with the videos, the audios, the text. You can review or input as much as you want. You've got endless output. You can pause, repeat, pause, repeat. You can have all of this input and output forever. There's no limits on it, right? Huge advantages. I seriously think thinking about an online course, a good one for your IELTS speaking preparation and probably all of your IELTS preparation, it's really worth thinking about. Just find a good one. It'll give you guidance and control. I like that. Guidance and control. Nice. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want more information about IELTS speaking in particular, go and check out my website, the Keith Speaking Academy, actually keithspeakingacademy.com. And if you've enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel, like the video. And listen, if you're taking the test, as I suspect some of you are soon, I wish you lots of luck. All the best. And listen, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.